Hello, everyone, and welcome to Techeries. Oh man, it's Steam Next Fest week, y'all. We've been busy, but we are going to be diving into some of the games that piqued our interest. We won't be able to show you all of them, but so make sure you go and check it out too. You can also head over to our social medias. We did put out on our socials a fun post for each of us, giving us some of our best picks, our favorite picks of the Steam Next Fest. So yeah, if you haven't checked those posts out, go check them out. They got demos. But yeah, guys, I'm Morgan, and this is my beautiful co-host KP.
Hey guys, yeah, that's right. We've been busy. I kept Morgan busy. I think I gave her way too much homework.
Ah,
I tend to do that. I give her so much homework.
you're just get to deal with me telling you at 3 a.m. Hi, I'm done.
That's right. That's right. Hey, I know that we talked about our store and everything, but I do want to I'm super excited. I got my
Yeah,
gear. I'm
yeah,
really excited. I got my gear, guys. Look at this cool little hat. I'm totally plugging right now. This
that's
is my
fine.
kitty hat. This is my new kitty hat. I'm super excited about it. And I have the lovely kitty logoed shirt
Gotta sit up a little bit
that
more.
I got.
Go up a little higher. There you go.
Ah, there we go. Right up
Your
there.
lower third
Right.
was covering it. There you
No
go.
problem. And it says, time to take out the enemy on my sleeves, which is really nice. So if you guys haven't checked out our store, please do. If you see something, we still have the grand opening going on. And who knows what else we'll be doing. I know I also added you get free shipping on purchases of 75 or more.
Ooh,
I know.
good
I
to
really thought about you
know.
guys because I
Good
know
to
how much you guys
know.
want to spend money on our store.
Yeah, and guys, we have stuff for Kitty's channel, French Kitty. You have stuff for the True Tash, which is my channel. You have stuff for the wonderful Techery show that you can go buy as well. And also my podcast show for movies called Wannabes Podcast. So you can get something from all of us.
That's right. Or just pick one.
Or just one. I guess that's fine, but you can share the love.
All right. Well, we're also going to be showcasing some games that are releasing next week in our
Yes.
show. Not that I'm going to move us on, but I have to. And I know one game that is standing out to Morgan and I that is coming out soon. We're really excited for this
I've
one.
had like
But
literally
first,
two other people message me like, "Are you buying it so we can play it together?"
oh gosh, you're going to be like, I already know how to beat the game. And I'm going to be like, damn it. Uh, But first, let's dive into your tech pulse this morning, guys, or afternoon. Sorry, it is afternoon now, and see what's happening in the world of tech.
All right, everybody. To kick off our Tech Pulse segment this week, we're gonna take a look at Ubisoft. So now, Ubisoft is known for some pretty big titles like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, just to name a couple. However, Ubisoft works by a larger number of people have seemed to become stale. And this is by the overuse of repeated formulas for their video games. This has caused a decline in the company's reputation over the last decade, but with that being said, the studio might actually be fixing this problem with the upcoming release of Far Cry 7. So, according to rumors, Far Cry 7's movement mechanics are going to get an overhaul by adding tactical sprinting, sliding, vaulting, and more. Now, Ubisoft is actually making two Far Cry video games at the same time, though 7 is the next to be released. So I think it's safe to assume that the other Far Cry game that is in development will potentially see these movement mechanic changes as well. So, yeah. What do you think about this one, KP?
You know what? I really don't get into Far Cry as much. I want to. I
Same.
have Far Cry Primal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's that single player game issue with myself. Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to play
Same.
it by myself. I want to play it with others. And like, I got really excited for Far Cry Primal because it was like, go and hunt, and all this stuff. And I was like, this could be really fun. And then I started playing and I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Especially when they were like, go hunt the lions. And I'm like, no, lions will murder me. So
Will
yeah,
bring
I
me
don't, I didn't really get into Far Cry. I'd be curious to see like gameplay mechanic wise, what the new overhaul is going to look like.
Sure.
And that's something we can look at when it comes out and see what we think in general. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think this is a good step for Ubisoft in the fact that they're revamping the mechanics behind Far Cry, or do you think that this is kind of like why are we doing this? The game was fine on its own, so you people suck. Like,
So
what are you doing?
I think this is a good thing.
Mhm.
Just it's important to not just constantly rinse and repeat your formulas. Like, sure, does it work?
Right,
Yes, but like use your same formula, but then expand upon it, make it even better. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Like a decade ago, Ubisoft was like one of the leaders of the video game franchise and or the video game world. It still has its foothold, but it's not. It doesn't hold that top dog spot anymore. Even with
No.
all these fantastic stories coming out for Assassin's Creed. Now, I would
Mhm.
like to see some overhauls to the Assassin's Creed mechanics because as somebody who doesn't play them very often, sometimes diving back into the mechanics of Assassin's Creed is a struggle for me. So I would like to see them make
Well,
things more fluid. But that's also
they
once I play
technically
it, I get more used to it. It's fine.
But they technically did an overhaul when they started moving out of the basics from like the original Assassin's Creed to
Sure,
when they
and
went to
that's fair.
Odyssey, and yeah, like those were an overhaul
That
because
is fair.
that's when they changed mechanics of like how you play your character.
Right.
So uh, it is pretty fluid. Like being someone who's played all three of them, I'm like, no, this is pretty fluid, and I'm kind of interested to see how Shadows is, and if they release it on Game Pass, I would totally dive into it.
I'm really
I do
interested in
like
Shadows.
yeah, I like the storylines they've been doing since we've gotten away from, and sorry to those people who really like the originals, I just couldn't get into the originals, so that's just
I
my own
struggled with it
thing.
too. I like them, and I just watched gameplay of them because I tried playing them
Mhm.
and I just couldn't get into playing them myself.
Yeah. And they got good storylines. It's just
Hmm.
I got more invested in when they started switching the way that everything was done. So I
That's fair.
think, it just depends on where you fall, like on the Assassin's Creed timeline, kind of.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
Yeah, if you guys have never played Far Cry, if there is like a demo or it's free or whatever, because I know we all follow Prime Gaming, we all follow free games from COG, all this stuff. If you guys ever see a free version of a Far Cry game, definitely get it, try it out, see what you think,
hmm
especially if it's free. I know Prime Gaming is right now doing Deus Ex, and Deus Ex is like one of those games that was never cheap kind of thing. So
yeah.
I definitely say try it and see what you think. Because Far Cry definitely has some very interesting mechanics, but they're not like overly hard. It's just it kind of just says like this is Far Cry in a way. I miss my old storyline. I always feel like post Desmond now none of it has a point. It's just a history sim. That's fair. That's
History
fair.
sim of flair.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, IGN partnered with ID at Xbox for the latest ID at Xbox showcase. And during IGN's Fan Fest, there were some big announcements from indie games to future games. So want you guys to sit back, relax. Maybe, I have a bit to tell you, but before I dive in, this is only like some of the games that stood out to us.
Their festival was massive. They had a whole day for
Hmm.
anime, they had a whole day for movies. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, this is like their big thing, just like PlayStation has theirs.
yep.
So
Yep.
first up, I'm really actually kind of really excited for this because this is a game that I want to try out, and I love the fact that it's on Xbox. So first up, the card game that gained popularity is now on Xbox Game Pass, and it has card customization from Fallout, Assassin's Creed, and many other games. And This is part of the Friends of Jimbo update for Balatro. I kind of want to try it and see how this game works. It's supposed to be pretty like intense, but not intense in the sense of like a shooter game or an RPG, just like intense as like a card game. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'll try it out. So, and as I'm going through these guys, let me know if any of these stand out to you that you want to try or what your favorites are, because we have quite a list here. So, next we have a new release trailer from Tron, Catalyst. Tron is a game that I think is fascinating because there was the original Tron game. So this is the next step to this. The game will have players take on the role of EXO, a highly resilient and resourceful program with an incredible ability to initiate time loops. EXO will take on the agent of Core named Khan and jump on the grid on June 17th for this game that comes out this year. I love the fact that this is already being released. I'm curious about it, but I don't know if this is my game. All right, next we have this co-op action roguelite game called 33 Immortals. This is an intense game, okay? When I say intense, these are the intense games. So you have to play with 33 of your other friends in this co-op battles game. Like
Wow.
33. I read this and I was like, that's gotta be a joke. No, 33 other gamers will join you and you play a damned soul and rebel against God's final judgment. You will pick up and raid, cooperate to survive hordes of monsters, defeat massive bosses, and face the wrath of God in a fight for your eternal life. This game releases in early access on March 18th. I'm like, that's insane. This game is absolutely insane, and I really want to try it. All right. Next, we have the second installment of Savage Planet. If you guys have played Savage Planet, the first one, you'll know all about the craziness with it. Well, this is Revenge of the, I think it's Revenge. Is it Revenge on there or is Revend? I can't remember. Of the Savage Planet.
Revenge.
Revenge. Okay, I wrote it wrong. In this game, you will have a goo cannon, an electric lasso, conductive pharaoh goo that will shock or slow down enemies, as well as open doors. Now, this game is set to release on May 8th. I played the first one when it came out on Xbox. It's interesting, but like weird. I don't know really how to explain it because it's like it puts you into these like weird like situations. But it's actually
Eyeballs are
fun when you play with
massive.
somebody else. All right, so the next game, this is a game that's starting to get a lot of hype. I know Morgan's really excited for it.
Rob and I both
Dan's
are
super
excited for it.
Yeah, Rob's really excited for it. We're talking about Jump Ship. Now, it's a mission-based co-op FPS for up to 4 players where you are the crew of a spaceship. Transition seamlessly from crewing the ship to on-foot exploration and spacewalks. Engage in intense battles both on the ground and in space, and always keep your ship upgraded and intact. This game will head to early access this summer, but you can sign up for a closed beta on their website, which I have already done. I think Morgan's already done it. I'm super excited to see how this is. I know there was some talk about like maybe some motion issues, which is why I really want to jump into it and see what it feels like, especially with somebody like me who suffers greatly from that, just to see if I can actually stomach it. Stomach it. Our next game, this one is super adorable and I really want to try it, is all about herding mystical and fantastic creatures through an equally mysterious world. But the journey won't be easy. Herdling is expected to come out on PC and Xbox this summer. It's super gorgeous. If you guys get a chance to really check out this trailer, I think like it seems very relaxing to me. But I'm sure there's like huge like puzzles or something that you need to figure out in this game to basically herd your cattle or whatever, your creatures, right? But it just looks so adorable and I really can't wait for this one to come out. And it looks gorgeous overall. All right, and lastly, this is a game that has caught my eye, which is called Outbound. Now, this is like Camping World. Remember Camping Van that I tried? If you guys followed me or watched me on Friday playing Camping Van, this is like Camping Van, but the next level of it. So I would do like this game versus Camping Van. So it's a relaxing open world adventure in the wilderness. In Outbound, players will have to their trusty camper van with them, and they will need to build upon it and live on the land. So you'll be collecting resources and make your own space. And Outbound is set to release actually next year in 2026. So this is like the next level to the unpacking version that I demoed on Friday. So it's really interesting, like how we went from like all these different things, and I end with a lovely little thing. So, Morgan, what do you think? I know you're really super excited for Jump Ship, so we'll skip that one
Yeah.
because we know that's already a
So
given.
Jump Ship, obviously, I'm super excited for, as we've discussed before. I'm also really interested in um which one was it? It was Hurting. And Hurting I'm interested
Hmm.
in because we've both looked at and we've really enjoyed the Far Changing Tides series.
Yes,
And it's by the same creator. It's also by the creators of Firewatch, which Firewatch is on Game Pass, and I've been really wanting to try that one as well.
definitely do
Um,
it. It's a good story. I've
yeah,
played it.
I'm excited for. I've heard it's really good. I'm excited to try that one. I'll probably do a review of it, truthfully.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that has my interest because partially of who's behind that title. But I think the one aside from Jump Ship that has me the most excited um is actually the one that we just talked about. This Outbound. Outbound looks super cute, right up my alley. So, yeah. I like.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. Like I said, this is just like a little bit of a glimpse of everything that they talked about. And I think people are going to be really excited to see where Xbox goes. I mean, they're going to be really excited to see where PlayStation goes. I think both are doing a good job overall. So I
Mhm.
think we're in a good spot. You know.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited to take a look at it all. But for now, everybody, we do have some interesting news for those of you who might be the Dauntless fans out there. So, firstly, in Dauntless, you become a slayer and protect the Shattered Isles from formidable behemoths in the ultimate free to play monster hunting co op action game developed by Phoenix Labs. Slayers were expected a major content update on January 16th called Dauntless Umbral Reign. However, on the day of the launch, Dauntless took to their social media with a long message, and here's the quote of the shorter version.
They made it
So,
shorter.
yeah, I've read the shorter version, but there is a longer form as well. But here is the quote: Slayers, we've made the decision to delay the launch of Dauntless Umbral Reign. The team wants to ensure we deliver the best possible experience. We're hopeful we'll be able to launch the new season next week, but we'll evaluate after additional testing. Now, man. However, the Dauntless bad news doesn't stop there. And that's because on Monday, February 24th, Dauntless took to social media once again and ended up actually announcing they were shutting down. Here's the message they released on Twitter. So it says, important update. Dauntless is shutting down on May 29th, 2025. Dauntless will receive no additional content or updates. Dauntless will no longer be available to play on or after May 29th at 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks to all for being part of the Dauntless journey. Now, I personally never got a chance to actually play Dauntless, and hearing this news, I was curious of the reviews on Steam. When I checked recent reviews, of 160 were mostly negative, while all reviews, which were of 1,781, was labeled as overwhelmingly negative. So, yes, Latin, R.I.P., rip. So yeah, sadly,
This game
Dauntless
took a
is shutting
weird
down.
turn.
It
I
felt
played
very
Dauntless when it
abrupt.
yeah. And I played Dauntless when it first came out, and it did not have this negative, overwhelmingly negative review on it. It was
Hmm.
perfectly fine. There was no issues with it. I don't know where the negative turn took, but it was like something they did um, at one point. They made some tweaks to the game, and people didn't take to it. And so that kind of like started tanking the game. And then they were like, oh, but we'll release it on Steam because I remember that was a big thing and it was going to be free. And I was like, sweet, because that was what, it was on Xbox and Nintendo Switch and everything. So and then I think it just never came back. Like it never grew back to a positive side. And I think
Hmm.
even them sitting there and saying, well, we could put out this DLC, right? But it's just never like what do we do? We're just never gonna get there. I feel like they just kind of like gave up and said, oh well. Which is
Yeah,
sad.
which is sad because like I know that there's a pretty good following for Dauntless, especially for it to be, I believe, a free to play game. So
Yeah.
it's sad to hear, but the gaming industry right now is taking a hit in general. Like we just had
Hmm.
the strikes happen for, script writers and everything for the movie side of the industry. And now we're getting strikes and things happening with voiceovers, or sorry, for voice actors and plenty more stuff
Hmm.
going on here. Plus all of the layoffs that have been happening. Like the gaming industry is just taking a massive hit. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you, this isn't the only what story I have about of a like another place of the game industry getting hit, which I'll dive into right now. So,
Okay.
guys, if you don't know, more game studios are closing. Specifically, three studios owned by Warner Bros. So the three studios shutting down are Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Bros. San Diego. So Warner Bros. Actually confirmed these shutdowns in a statement that read, "We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios, Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Bros. San Diego. This is a strategic change in the direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them." Now, honestly, we need to talk about Monolith Productions. The studio is well known for Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, its sequel, Shadow of War, the Fear franchise, and plenty more. Monolith Productions was currently working on the highly anticipated Wonder Woman video game, and with the studio's closure, Warner Bros. Has confirmed the game will no longer be moving forward. They say, and I quote, "Our hope was to give players and the fan the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities." Now, comic writer Gail Simone revealed she worked on the Warner Bros. Wonder Woman game before it was shelved. Gail Simone is known for being the longest running female writer on the Wonder Woman comics to date, and she praised those working on the video game, insisting everyone she worked with from the now closed Monolith Productions and Warner Bros. Was supportive and really enthusiastic. She even said in an interview the game was gorgeous and expansive. It was beautiful to look at. Everything was made to make this not just a great game, but a great Wonder Woman game, a showpiece epic. She continued on by saying it was a dream come true. Wonder Woman had a dream team and they put their all into it. Hearing such praise from the now canceled video game from such a long term Wonder Woman writer makes this news even more disappointing. And fans are lamenting on social media, especially Reddit, over the waste of potential by the close of Monolith Productions, which is just such a well known studio. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's sadly the additional bad news.
It's just all bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
No.
I have seen some clips here and there, or like some first look stuff at the Wonder Woman game, and it was looking nice. It's
Hmm.
disappointing because Wonder Woman is such a large um female figure in the
Right.
superhero realm. So it's really sad that we're not going to see such a strong female character like her get a game while so many other DC counterparts have. So
Right. Yeah.
it's a disappointing.
Yeah. But I've noticed too that a lot of the DC video games they don't do as well just because it feels like they just don't have the right. I don't know what it is. It's like it was like Justice League,
Mm, yeah.
that didn't do so well. Or the Injustice or the one with like where they took all the ones from Suicide Squad. Like that one didn't do so well.
Right.
Like it's been interesting to see certain ones just not doing well. Um so I don't know what it is. I feel like DC never wins, unfortunately. Even if we're thinking outside of video games, like right from even just a movie standpoint, DC just for some reason just never wins
Well,
for some random reason, you
funny
know?
enough, we actually had a major discussion about we talk about DC a lot over on the Wannabes.
Yeah.
In our last episode, we actually dived a little bit more into the whole bit of um like the whole bit about DC and why it's a failure, and that's just because they want to try to marvelize themselves, but like, bro,
Hmm.
stop. You need to be
Right.
different than them. To look at
Right.
chat
Right.
real quick here on Twitch, No Looting does say that it's so heartbreaking to see so much effort go up in smoke, and I think that is the biggest takeaway from this. Is like, this is a game that has been like has one of the main female writers working with the team on this video game, and it's sad to see that work is being sadly thrown away. Um,
Hmm.
No Looting also says that that they haven't played them, but I hear a lot of people lamenting the loss of the Middle Earth system too, since the studio can't use it. I honestly, if you haven't played them, you really should. This is a map from them. I got this in my collector's edition for, I believe, Shadow of War, and it's fantastic. If you love Lord of the Rings, definitely check out those games. They're worth it. They're amazing. So,
It's definitely an interest. Those are interesting concept games too, because I remember my brother
absolutely.
played them. I didn't play them, but my brother did, and
They're
they
really,
were really
really good.
interesting.
They're really
Yeah,
good.
very tactical based. You have to think on
Mhm.
those. Yeah, Ram says that I got gifted Suicide Squad for Christmas, and it's just gonna collect dust because I have no one to play with me. Ramp,
Fair.
just stop. I'm gonna literally be like, Ramp. If you have a game, reach out. One of us probably owns it.
I promise you that one I do not.
I actually do. I have it. It was free on
Oh, there
Epic,
you
so
go.
that's why
There
I
you go.
got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I did
Nice.
buy it and then I returned the one on Steam because they had it free on Epic and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay.
Heck yeah.
It doesn't play bad. Like it's kind of interesting. It doesn't play bad at all. Um I think the issue is just people were upset because of how the DLC was done.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't play terribly. It plays all right. It's just I like the comic book as artistic angle they took with it, where like so I was playing as Harley, of course, duh. Uh,
You no
and
way.
I know, right? But I like the fact that they do like the big like pow and bang and like like the old comic books used to be and how
Yeah.
Batman and Robin used to be back in the day when they were on TV and stuff like that. So Latin says Warner Brothers had multiple opportunities to sell those studios and they didn't take it. They chose to sack jobs over getting tens of millions of dollars. Warner Brothers is ran as bad as a Cybertruck in snow.
Honestly, and
Oh.
that's a really important thing to look at is like Warner Bros. Could have sold these studios,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now they're reprioritizing. And
Mhm.
I genuinely think if they went the route, if they were willing to hold, you could hold production. You could do like a layoff of these workers for the time. Like, not that I'm saying layoffs are good. I got laid off and I'm struggling like a motherfucker, but it's just one of those things where it's like you could have maybe done a layoff and sold these studios,
Yeah.
and then those because you could do temporary layoffs. They don't have to be a full time. Sell the studio, and then the layoff gets lifted for whomever once whoever takes hold of it. But no, they're like, goodbye studio, goodbye all these assets, goodbye
Mhm.
to it's just sad to see. Like, I feel like there's just so much waste being here, waste in
Right.
talent, waste in assets, waste in like systems that we know are really great and really rich, and now waste
Mhm.
of production and people's time.
Right. Exactly. And it's so interesting. They're not looking at how do I invest in the employee that's working for me. It's more like
Right.
I give up. And it's like, no, 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 no. There is no, we don't just game over this. Like, come on. Like, really think about this before you game over. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's been really disheartening. And speaking of disheartening, I do have some other news.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it is a reboot that many fans of this game franchise have been waiting for, including myself, and I believe Morgan as well. And it looks like we're going to have to wait a little longer. Microsoft delayed Fable from this year to 2026. Head of Xbox Game Studios Craig Duncan told fans that the new game will be worth the wait, and he wants to give the Playground team more time to make the game amazing. But while the news about the game isn't incredible, Microsoft did release pre-alpha gameplay that you guys really need to see. I'm really excited for this. Here it is. This 50-second video shows Fable combat, some city walking scenes, and a clip of the main character riding a horse through a fantasy-styled forest area. And of course, the video wouldn't be Fable without the well-known kicking a chicken animation, which I was like, yes, they put it in there. Which I can't. Morgan's got to hold on until it gets there. You guys need to see this kicking the chicken. It is so great. I love it. I think they did. I think this is going to look amazing. Overall too. Um, it's going to be coming up soon. I
Here
don't
it
know where
is.
we are in it though.
Get yeeted by my foot.
Yeet it! Yeet! So while we have to wait another year, do you think it's worth it? Let us know in chat. And Morgan, what do you think?
So I am super excited for this game. You know, I grew up with Fable. I am
Mhm.
very, very ready for this. I know it's long anticipated. My good friend Kim, that you know, Kitty,
Mhm.
I sent her this because like she's more of a Fable fan than I am, and
Yeah.
she literally all caps was like, "I'm about to fucking cry. Stop! I need this game now, and this is heartbreaking." But at least it's not as heartbreaking as other video game industry news that we've had. It's still coming. And I'm excited. It looks gorgeous. The
Oh yeah.
pre-alpha footage, fantastic. I'm really excited to see what the finished product is going to look like.
Yeah, I am too. I think there's a lot of really great aspects that they did with the
Mhm.
animations, the graphics. Like everything looks so much more polished. And if you guys, I know many people have played Fable, but if you have not played Fable, you know, like your character's not like this super polished character as it is in this pre-alpha footage. Your character almost looks like not 8-bitty, but like a little bit better than 8-bit with the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one. But if you guys have never played Fable, definitely check it out. It's a very cool game. There is the anniversary that they have on the Steam page. I haven't seen Fable 2 on there, but I'm sure it's somewhere. Or if not, it's on Xbox. It's definitely like I don't know, the game never seemed super difficult because of how they made it. So it always seemed
Mhm.
like even if you suck, like
It has such a good story too.
it does, but I'm saying like even if you suck as a player, like let's say you're like I just suck at playing like games where I have to actually, battle, like combat games, right?
Mhm.
They made it so the game doesn't feel like you're terrible. Like you could be the worst and still play the game.
That's true.
It's pretty great. And then I don't know about you, but I always love the fact that like you can romance. You can like do everything you can. It's almost like Fable became to me like it's like a mix between all these different things, right? Like we have RPGs, we have fantasy, we have elemental based stuff, and then it's like, oh, and by the way, here's a fun little sim area. you know? So it's really fun. It's a great game if you guys have not seen it or played it.
And I will say though, with it, obviously it's being delayed, so they can keep polishing it and making it better. They already before this delay had, I don't want to say big shoes to fill because it's still their same shoes, but they have a lot of high expectations to fill, like to meet.
Mhm.
And now I think those expectations are just getting raised even further because they're like, we're delaying for quality. So they better bring some top notch stuff to us people who are waiting for this reboot of Fable.
Well, and it's not like they're remastering. Like they're not just taking the old Fable and
Right.
remastering. They're literally redoing the whole game, compared to like what we've seen with uh
Dead
like some of the
Space.
games that you've played.
Yeah,
Like
even Dead
oh my
Space did
God.
it recently.
Yeah, thank you. I
Um
was like, what's the one game? That's exactly the
I
game I
knew
was
I
thinking.
knew
I'm
which
like,
one you were going for.
get out of my head. Don't get out of my head. It's fine.
Never. It's why we upload videos at the same time on YouTube.
We do. It's great. Ram said, believe it or not, Fable was the first game series that I played on Xbox over Call of Duty and Halo and Gears. No, and that's totally understandable. I remember when my brother, so we only had one Xbox in the house, and I remember when my brother brought home Fable, and I was like, what is this game? And I started watching him play it, and I was like, I want to try. And I was like, oh my God, this game is so cool and fun. And then I remember when 2 came out, and I was like, yeah. Like, and they kept going. But then it feels like there was a spot where it kind of like fell off for a bit, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I guess we're just done with this game." And now we're not. So,
It's back in
it's back.
2026. Well, everybody, it is time for a short break. So get up, stretch your legs, refill your drink, maybe grab a snack, because when we come back, we're diving into some of the demos we reviewed from the Steam Next Fest, and we're looking at others that are also on our list. Once again, it's not everything because you don't want to see how long my wish list is right now. It is crazy.
It
Um,
is really crazy. She showed me yesterday.
yeah, I've been going really hard. I've literally clicked through every single game. Um, it was a lot of sleepless nights. Anyway, you won't want to miss this. We're really excited for it. But we'll be right back, and when we return, we have some awesome demos for you. Some of which you guys chose for us to do. So
Mhm.
it's exciting. See you
Yeah.
guys soon.
to stretch.
Y'all are taking care of us. We gotta get our stretch on. We did take care of that posture check, Latin, while we were on Be Right Back, so thank you very much. And now we gotta hydrate. I'm choosing coffee right now. Definitely hydrating. It's okay. I have my water next to me.
Look, guys, we're doing it.
We're doing it. But thank you guys for that. So yeah, guys, the Steam Next Fest is going on right now. It does end tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So go get your demos, go check it out, and enjoy everything over there before it's gone. We're really excited about this. We both chose 2 demos each to play through and review, though we have even more saved in our libraries to play and test out and review. And we also have some more that we're going to highlight after these demos are done. I did on one of my last streams, I asked everybody, like, what are ones you want to play? So the 2 I'm playing are actually ones you guys chose. So yeah, I'm super excited. I know KP's excited to talk about hers as well. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Let's dive into our first demo review. Have you ever wanted to encounter the likes of Jon Snow or take a venture beyond the wall? Well, you can in Game of Thrones King's Road. In this upcoming fantasy action-adventure RPG, you play as the sole living heir of House Tyr, as your father Merrick Tyr lies on his deathbed. He sends you to Castle Black to speak with your uncle, who is a member of the Watch. You join him beyond the wall, looking for Jon Snow and his party. That's where you encounter the White Walkers, and only you and Jon escape back to the wall. This game has potential, but you can definitely tell from the gameplay that this is a demo and not a finished product. The gameplay reminds me of The Witcher, just without the magical abilities. First things first, you have the option of 3 different classes to play. Assassin, which is your light class, Knight, which is your medium class, and Sellsword, which is more of a heavy class. When you click into a class, you can change your character's gender to your preferred choice. I went with the Assassin class for this demo. Now, when playing the game, there were moments of lag between gameplay and cutscenes, and even once in a while in combat. Though this wasn't a detriment to my gameplay, it was a bit frustrating. On another gameplay note, I found the combat system to be interesting. Using a number of attack combos, I found this easy to learn, and the blocking and dodging system was very useful. Your abilities can eventually be leveled up through reaching milestones or training. But let's talk about the art design. This game, though maybe not the highest in quality compared to other RPGs, still looks really nice, especially the environments. As for character design, well, it bothered me. When you're in character design, there are areas on the face that you can adjust and customize. Those areas are flashing soft white, and the area you're adjusting is flashing soft blue. These do not go away when you're moving your customization bar, and I found it hard to really be able to see the changes you were making, so much so that when I finally finished character creation and got into the game, I hated how the corner of my lips were turned up, and I couldn't determine the intensity because of those flashing overlays. As for the soundtrack, the music makes sure you feel like you're in Westeros. From the well-known Game of Thrones theme to other music that has the underlying motifs of the theme song, I thoroughly enjoyed the music. As for the voiceovers, I really liked the voiceovers we have.
My watch ends when I die.
But sometimes the voices and closed captions were not synced up. Usually, the closed captions were ahead of the voice. Also, sometimes there was dialogue according to the captions, but no voice was coming through. This could be because it's only a demo and not a finished product. Overall, I think Game of Thrones King's Road is a game that can truly be enjoyed by the fans. The story takes place during the Game of Thrones series, specifically when the Boltons are just taking over the North. As for the demo, no, it's not a finished product. And to the developer, Netmarble Neo, I really hope they make sure to iron out those weird lag glitches along with making sure the voice and closed captions are synced up before the full release. If you want to relive the Game of Thrones story from another angle, then check out Game of Thrones King's Road, which has a demo out now on Steam as part of the Steam Next Fest. This game is set for a Q2 release of 2025 and will be available on PC and for mobile on Android and Apple iOS. For now, this is your first look at Game of Thrones King's Road. All right, everybody, that is your first look at the demo of Game of Thrones King's Road. So let me know, chat, what do you think? I'm a Game of Thrones fan. Let me know if you're a fan, if this interests you and you would play it. But Kitty, I know that you've obviously went and looked through and watched my demo. Do you have any thoughts or questions about it?
Yeah, remember I told you? Like, literally, I was like, "Your character looks like Elsa." I literally said that to Morgan. I looked at it, I was like, "Wait, is your character Elsa?" She's like, "I hated this character."
Like, what's weird to me is like when I made my character and then when I saw her in
Yeah.
the game, it still felt slightly different. And that could be because like I was explaining in there like the character creation process just pissed me off, man. Like
Mhm.
these flashing nodes of like
Yeah,
appreciate that you're showing me everywhere I can adjust, but when I start moving that, those should fade away so I can really see the
right.
changes being made. Like I had crazy upturned corner lit of my like corner mouth lip area. I don't know why I even explain it, but it's like what the hell? It didn't look like that when I was trying to create her, but it probably did, but I just couldn't see it very well.
Right,
So
right. I think it
I
looks like they took a page out of, Fallout, because Fallout does that. They
okay,
they go over and, like, wherever you're at, it kinda, like, blinks a little bit
yeah.
so you know which spot you're
Which,
on.
which I like
But
that because it lets you know
Mhm.
really what area of the face you're fixing or adjusting, if
Yeah.
you rather.
Ye
But
but I have noticed, like, with Fallout, it'll blink in the spot, but then when you're starting to adjust, it gets rid of that part so that you can actually see
yeah,
the
that's
adjustments.
what I
I feel
wanted it
like
to
they
do.
forgot to do that last part a little bit, just a tad.
Hopefully, they hear my
Um
complaint and fix it before the full launch.
That would be great. Um, no, I think the game looks interesting. I'm not a Game of Thrones person, so
Mhm.
I can't really get behind this, but it did kind of give me like Skyrim feels from the
Yeah,
animation.
there was some Skyrim vibes in the a bit of the fighting, and just like the looting, like I think more of like the fact that like you need to sneak around, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
tactically you need to sneak around and kill enemies, and like kind of like assassinate them and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of moments where it also reminds me of The Witcher. Just it doesn't have all of those,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, like magical abilities that Geralt has. It's more of a in terms of like tactical ideas and how things move,
Mm-hmm.
like the dodging and the blocking. Like I think there's timing that matters. There's certain hits that in combat when you're facing people, you can block, but sometimes that block isn't going to be effective just because of the type of
Right.
heavy attack that it is. So there's things that reminded me of The Witcher. I could definitely see the Skyrim part of it. The environments definitely make me think of Skyrim because Skyrim is set in that
Mm-hmm.
more winter esque sort of vibe. Um,
Right.
but no, I think it's really interesting. It takes place you're during like a minor house, and it doesn't really so far what I've read like what I've seen of the story from this demo, it doesn't break and create any holes from the initial story of Game of Thrones so far. Um, and it takes place during Game of Thrones for anybody who is familiar with it. As I said in the review, it takes place when the Boltons are just taking over the North. So it takes place during a very high stakes period of the series. So
Right.
it's
Right.
interesting. The other note I want to say is this is coming out not just on PC but also for mobile on Android
Yeah.
and iOS. I do not know how in the hell you are supposed to play that game on mobile.
I don't know.
I didn't think it was a difficult game to play, but I couldn't
Right.
imagine actually trying to play it on mobile. That was mind-boggling to me. I was like, "What? It's supposed to be on this too? Are you crazy?"
I think when you showed it to me, I did say, "Is that iOS? Did that just say iOS over there and AOS? Like what?"
Yeah, I'm floored by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, kudos to them for pushing it to that limit, but yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe that's
Mhm.
another review I do down the road if it's available on
Maybe maybe if
on
it's free.
Android. You know, I'll if it's free
If
on
it's
Android, I'll
free.
play around with it and see how it plays. But no, this
Not
is
buying this twice
definitely
game.
this is definitely a game that requires some polishing yet. But it is a
Yeah.
demo, so I'm not going to look at the rough areas too hard because it's not a finished product. At least I hope it's not. So,
They're
um,
like, "Actually, this is the finished product. Enjoy. We'll see you later."
I mean, that's always possible. They could be like,
That is true.
this is our done segment of the game." Now, by the
Yeah.
time I
Yeah.
finished playing it, I played it for about 3.5 hours, and I do not
Okay.
see an immediate stop yet for the demo. So it seems like it's a very lengthy demo. I don't know
Oh, okay.
how long it goes. I decided
Mhm.
after like between 3.5 hours. It might have even been closer to 4 if I go back and look at the my recording timestamps. Um, that I was like, okay, I think I have enough to create a review. So just
No,
just so
you need
everybody
10
knows,
hours.
if you want a meaty, like really meaty gameplay or a meaty demo, this is it. I want to say it was like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a pretty heavy install too. It was like for a demo, I think it was like 30 gigs, 30 or 32
Oh,
gigs.
wow.
So that's a really heavy download for a demo. So I would assume you're getting a lot of content.
I've noticed though that there has been a lot of beefy demos out there this
There
time around.
has I think my next demo, that I think that was like around 11 gigs, which
Okay.
is still large for a demo.
Yeah.
That one does have like a full, like I played the full thing. Like it does have an endpoint. But yeah, we can just dive into it since we have it. That's the next one on our list.
Since you're running it, you just
Yeah,
decide. You
yeah.
just
Here you
hit
go,
that
guys.
button.
I'm
I
already
will-
talking. Yeah, we go. I'm already talking about it, so let's just go ahead and play it. Dungeons and Dragons fans, buckle up. The sequel to Solasta is here in demo form. This is your first look at the demo of Solasta 2. In this intriguing tactical fantasy RPG that stays faithful to the world's most popular tabletop role-playing game, you uncover the lands of Neokos with a party of 4 adventurers in a quest driven by family legacy. You play as a new fledgling party of heroes, but in the demo, your playable characters are set for the sake of the gameplay, which takes you about 2 hours to get through. When the game is released, you'll be able to create your own adventuring party. With all that being said, let's discuss the gameplay. Solasta 2 is a turn-based RPG, which means in combat you roll initiative to determine the order of the fight, and use each player character's abilities to fight and defeat your foes. If you've played a turn-based combat system before, this is pretty standard to how all turn-based games work. I think the game gives you good descriptions about what each ability does, but be careful. Make sure you stay tactical and think ahead. For the role-playing side, when speaking with NPCs, you get the option to answer with all of your party members and not just the one you currently have leading the party. This is a nice change of pace compared to how games like Baldur's Gate 3 works when it comes to role-playing. The art design of Solasta 2 is beautiful. It's well detailed, the characters are expressive when in role-playing scenes, and the spell effects look fantastic. I also find the color design of the art to be vivid in color and dynamic in contrast. The epic fantasy music is always a massive yes for me, but more importantly, I find the transitions between ambient music to battle music to be very smooth and not jarring at all. Also, the voice acting for the characters are really crisp, and the devs made sure that the animations of the character's mouth match up well.
Hope it ain't that stupid dragon again.
One thing I noticed was that sometimes the voice lines cut off just a bit too soon. When this happened, it was the last word of the dialogue. Now, when I launched the game, there was a pop-up message saying that there will be some small glitches here and there, as this is not a final product. The developers also made sure to ensure that any issues seen in the demo will be fixed and smoothed out before release. Overall, this is a stunning fantasy tactical turn-based RPG. It stays true to the 5e rule set of Dungeons & Dragons, and if you have ever wanted to get into D&D but the rules overwhelm you, this game could definitely be a fantastic introduction. What I think is the most exciting part of this game is you do not need to play the first game to play this one. It's a brand new story with brand new characters, just in the same world. The developer, Tactical Adventures, has announced that Solasta 2 will be available in early access form later in 2025. So if you have what it takes, bring your party of adventurers together to face off against the dark force led by Shadowin. Remember, you make the choices, but the dice decides your fate. This is your first look at Solasta 2. Alright everybody, and that is your look at Solasta 2. I know quite a few people who are interested in it. I know Shirtless Dan is. I think Ramp has it on their wish list. I also think that I know Rob is interested in it. Yeah, Dan just said in chat, really hyped for that one. Honestly, it was really good. It's a really good demo as well. It was a really nice taste of it, and it left me with questions. Especially the end is like, the end of that demo is, and it should be an illegal cliffhanger. But it was really good. I can't wait for Solasta 2, and I love that for somebody. I've always really wanted to play the first Solasta, and I never have gotten the chance. It is sitting in my wish list, but I've watched streams of Rob and Dan streaming it and playing it, so it's nice to know that I don't have to play the first one to be able to enjoy the story of this one. So
Yeah, it's like its own little campaign on its
Yeah.
own. It's like when you join a campaign of somebody and they're creating it, and then you're like join somebody else's campaign and you're like, "Hey, I'm in two different stories. This is really fun." Like that's what I like about the Solasta games is that, and even like any of them that really make more of a D&D type feel to
Yeah.
everything, because this is very D&D, right?
Hmm.
I like that it's never like you have to do this one in order to do this one. Like it's literally we're in this one book. Okay, here's a different book now. Like that's really cool.
Right.
And I like that feel. Um I would be curious to see and maybe this is something we think about later, doing because you have the gameplay for this one and then looking at some of the gameplay from the first one to see how they've changed or maybe upped the graphics because you haven't played the first one. So
Absolutely.
I don't remember how the graphics looked in the first one, to be honest. But I'd be curious to see if there's like any graphical changes. It looks really good. Um,
It's honestly very beautiful. Like I love
yeah,
how vivid and dynamic, like I said in the review, that the colors and the environments are in the in
right.
this game. So it's really exciting. I would love to take a chance to compare them later. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but a side note is like for D&D, this is they explain how it works very very well. This uses specifically the 5e rule set. So you can
Hmm.
learn how to play D&D by playing this game, and it might teach it to people in an easier way than without making them overwhelmed by just diving into the tabletop RPG. So,
Or you could just be like me and just wing it.
yeah, there's that too.
I wonder if
Dan,
they bring back the dungeon builder. They may.
they
I
might.
mean, I don't know if that was in the demo or not. Probably not, because they wanted you to
No.
understand the story and everything.
Like
So
there wasn't even character
maybe,
creation in this one. You had to
yeah.
just they made a set party for you to play with. Like you'll be able those characters you'll be able to adjust them and choose what races, classes, whatever you want them to be. Um but yeah, we had a for this like whole setup we had a sorcerer, a cleric, sorry, a fighter cleric, um a paladin and a rogue.
Yeah. I think the
So
rogue is always in the grouping when you play it.
yeah,
Like at
because
least for the
the
demos and
the
stuff.
rogue's important for like teaching like sneak and like the disengage. Like the rogue actually
Yeah.
has some important things that you need to learn as a player. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I still feel like I'm winging it. Even when I play to this day, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just winging it. Which I mean is fine. I mean, I do know like the basics. It's just sometimes I'm like, it's not overwhelmed. I guess it's more just like I feel like my brain just doesn't want to wrap around like this is what this is. So then I have to like
Sure.
reteach myself or just wing it and be like, well, I think I can do this. I mean, you guys haven't said no, so I think I'm okay. Till you tell me no, I think I'm fine.
Well, this
Dan
isn't.
says that,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think that the dungeon builder in one took almost a year to be introduced to players. I think so, yeah. So they may introduce it in this one. There's no word if they will,
Right.
so we'll have to keep an eye out for it. But from a demo standpoint, it just seemed like it was pretty good just to get the, like, here's the crux of the story that you can
Yeah.
have and, understand like
The
where you're going and maybe suck you in.
yeah, the game took for me about the demo, I should say rather. The demo took about I think it was 2.5 hours for me to
Hmm.
complete. Um, it would have been sooner though, because I also had to like step away and grab my dinner real fast while I was playing the demo. So there
How
is a moment where
dare.
I'm just sitting there for a second to go grab my food, but I would say this probably is about 2 hours. Around the 2 hour mark is what I would expect this to take, depending on how long you want to like go around and explore. And you can make it a longer demo for you. You can make it shorter. I obviously just explored every nook and cranny because I'm a loot goblin.
And so are a couple people in our chat.
Yes, yes. But this isn't the only game that deals with dice. I think you have one coming up, right?
Yeah, so this one is actually the second installment to the series. And
Okay.
it's one that is super whimsical and has more of a Nightmare Before Christmas feel to it. So let's check
Oh,
out Lost in Random, The Eternal Die.
very cool.
Welcome to the world of random, and that is exactly what you will get as you travel through the different rooms of this roguelite adventure which uses the Unity engine. This is Lost in Random: The Eternal Die by Stormteller Games. They were originally known as Thunderful Gothenburg, but recently rebranded themselves. This game, Lost in Random: The Eternal Die, will be the first game they release under the new studio name. In this game, you play as Queen Alexandra, who was once the great ruler of Random. She is on a mission for vengeance and redemption, as you wield her die companion Fortune against the evil that took everything from her. The gameplay offers players two different options with controller and mouse and keyboard. I opted for controller, which gave me a more fluid feel when dodging, attacking, or throwing Fortune at enemies. In this dynamic, real-time action tactical combat and risk-reward dice mechanics game, you will wield an arsenal of 4 unique weapons, unleash powerful card-based abilities, harness elemental relics, and strategically roll your trusted die companion Fortune. The gameplay is similar to many roguelike games such as Cult of Lamb and The Binding of Isaac, but with a twist. When you die, you return to Sanctuary to unlock new weapons, powerful upgrades, and take on quests from your allies before your next run. Let's take a closer look at the characters in this game. My first impression of this game was it looked very similar to The Nightmare Before Christmas, or even Alice Madness Returns. After doing some digging, it turns out that the art style was inspired by The Nightmare Before Christmas, Over the Garden Wall, and the work of Australian artist Sean Tan. You will see that inspiration every time you enter a new vivid landscape or a haunting world of gothic whimsy. Lost in Random: The Eternal Die immerses you into each world, and you will meet some quirky characters with a fully voiced cast.
My wardrobe offers some alternatives, but we need to gather options. And by we, I mean you.
I love the fun dialogue from the first characters I meet to after dying and returning to the boss fight getting new lines of dialogue. There didn't seem to be any repetitive lines for the first bosses you meet in this demo. Overall, this game has quite the charm to its gothic roots. In the demo, you will only be able to defeat the first major boss before the game ends, but this isn't the first game in the series. Lost in Random is more of an action-adventure where every citizen's fate is determined by a roll of the dice, so you can always check out the first installment for more of the backstory. Lost in Random: The Eternal Die is set to release sometime this year on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. I look forward to this game's release and will be checking out the first game as well. Until then, this is your first look at Lost in Random: The Eternal Die.
All right, everybody. So tell us, is that a demo you'd play? This one looks really cute and really interesting. I like how it has kind of like I believe you said it was like it's a roguelite, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I like that it's a roguelite that doesn't feel like overwhelming. You know, because some of them can be really, really difficult with like all the different little class abilities and stuff like that you can do. And this one actually seems to be, from just watching your demo, it seems to be pretty comfortable and easy to play.
Yeah, so I played on controller just because I like these type of games to me are a little bit easier with controller because you can, dodge out faster. I just can't for some reason when it comes to these types do mouse and keyboard or anything like that. But yeah, like overall the game, I actually made Dan play it. It was really funny. I was like, Dan, you need to play this game.
Dan, tell us
not
in
gonna lie, I
chat,
did
you
make
like
people.
it?
It was fun. So like the demo itself,
Mhm.
depending on how you play. So like for me, I kept dying and I was like, okay, I just want to like upgrade myself, right?
Sure.
And because I kept dying, I extended the gameplay because it gave me like the ability to go find my allies and bring them in and then learn about them. Like you have to with Amma, he's like, can you go find my dicelings? They're my children. And so you find these little dice in the game and they're super cute and they're like, come here, and he's like all mad at you because Alma's mad at you because of things that happened in the first one, which is why I'm like, oh, I really want to check out the first one and see what the story is to get a little bit more background of what's going on.
Sure. Like obviously they're
but
connected. Like the first
Mhm.
story is connected to the
Yeah.
second story. But do you feel like you have to play the first one to understand what's happening?
No.
Okay,
No, I don't think
that's
so
good,
because
and
in
that's
the
good.
first, yeah. In the first one, I think you're gonna play as this elder sister,
Oh,
which
okay.
is Yeah, because when you meet the goblets, the Duchess and the Duke, right? They mistake you for her sister. So it gets really
Oh,
funny.
okay.
So it's really great. So the one thing that Dan and I both noticed is, so like we would die and then we come back and then we'd go fight the mini boss or the boss, right? The Dutch
Hmm.
and the Duchess and the Duke. And every time you went back, they had brand new lines,
Oh,
which
nice.
was fascinating. So we were just like,
That's good
this is really
attention to
cool.
detail.
Yes, and even when you talk to like when you came back and you died, if the one guy that you meet the first time needed to talk to you, his line wasn't the same. It was always something different. Or if
Very
somebody else
nice.
needed to talk to you, like it was different. So it made the attention to the amount of lines that you do was so great. And then even Dan beat them because I was watching him stream this to me because we were talking about it. But he beat the Duke and Duchess. He went back through and the game ended and he was like, I'm gonna keep playing. And he went back through the whole entire circuit again. And then when he came back up, they had a brand new line because he beat them. So the fact that they thought so much into that is so incredible. And then the gameplay itself is very smooth.
Hmm.
I know people were complaining though, because the biggest gripe with this is if you played the first one, and you have to realize the first one is an action like role playing game. Okay. This one is a roguelite. There's a difference.
Gotcha.
But the big thing that people were complaining about was in the first one, well, you can just, gather these cards because the cards are in both, and then you can just change out your cards depending on what you feel like. In the new one, the second one, you don't have that ability. You can change out your card, but you only get one card. And I'm okay with that because technically I get to upgrade my weapon. I get to upgrade my life. I get to upgrade, like, there's things back at Sanctuary that I get to upgrade, which is really funny. That also, just side note, every place I've been to has had Sanctuary. Every game, I swear, has a Sanctuary.
That's funny.
Um but I think it's definitely like it's one where you definitely have to sit there and say, I'm gonna die. It's fine. But when I go back, I'm gonna upgrade and I'm gonna get stronger. And I'm gonna go back in, I'm
It's
gonna play again.
interesting that almost in a weird way that dying is actually a good thing. Like, because you get to
Yeah.
upgrade. It's like, is it that like, it's almost like, hey, you can basically what is the phrase I'm looking for? Um anyway, you can basically just play. You can play this without dying, but then if you do die, the game gives you a chance to make it where the level is more obtainable to like for completion. And I like that because I
Yeah.
feel like if you constantly die and you fail, people get really disheartened, and people will stop playing games because they're like, okay, apparently I just suck and I can't get past this. It is what it is.
Right.
And like, I like that the game on a reverse way is like, hey, you failed, let me help you.
Right, exactly. And you get to keep it. Like that's the nice thing. Like a lot
It's
of
really
times
cool.
when you go back, you'll get an upgrade, right? A lot of these roguelites, you'll get an upgrade, and then when you go through, you lose that upgrade, right?
Right, right.
So that becomes an issue. This one's not like that. This one's you paid the money, you get it, like the in-game money, Latin, not actual pay to win. I'm gonna put that out there because he'll be like, "You can pay to win? I'm in."
Take my money.
It's right, not that kind of pay. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
use the in-game currency, you get your upgrades, you keep them. So to me, that's a plus. That's a big plus. I also like the die companion to it. You get to throw Fortune around. He's basically like having a grenade, right? Except he doesn't explode. He just he rolls. But what's fascinating is as you find these relics in the game, you can either the relics will either have an ability or something for yourself,
Hmm.
or it will have something for Fortune. So
Awesome.
Fortune could be like roll a 4 or a 6 and I will do this to an enemy. Like I will stun an enemy, or I will do a electric type of ability to an enemy. And then there's things where like I got boots, right? And boots were electric. So I was running around and every so often I would electrify an enemy. So it's really interesting how you have to play both ends of it. And the board that you get slowly unveils like more slots for you to put things in.
Oh,
And then it
interesting.
becomes almost like a bingo card where you have to match things up, and then that becomes a thing. You get that percentage, it goes into whatever. So you have to look at like your weapon, your conjure, your luck, stuff like that to then
Gotcha.
determine how you want to play the game.
That's
So
really
I
cool.
really feel like, yeah, I feel like this is a really fun game to try out, especially somebody who doesn't or might not want to do a roguelite. This one makes it a little bit easier. And as Dan said like a while ago, he said it was really fun to go back and just re-kill enemies and like replay, doing that whole thing. Kicking their butts multiple times was pretty fun. Like it has a good replayability
Mm-hmm.
that you don't feel exhausted. And I think, Dan, you played like how many rounds? I think you did like probably 7 or 8, and I think I did about 7 or 8 when I was doing it too. Like I had a lot of like footage, just me going around being like, I'm gonna do this. I can't do this. But also, it is random, like in the sense
Okay.
of like the randomizing of the
Just like the
like the
world.
rooms that you get. But you do have like set rooms that you're supposed to get. Like you're supposed to get the shop. You're supposed to get like the guy who does the wagering with you. Like those are supposed to be
okay.
in there. It's just where they're located is in a random spot on
Which
the
makes
board.
sense, obviously, to the name Lost in Random. So
Yeah. Yeah. I am curious about the first one though. I will say like I do have that one on my cart right now.
Same.
It's not on
Just
sale.
like you said for
unfortunately.
Celesta, though, you get to go check out this first one and compare the two.
Yeah. And I think also what's interesting is like I was invested in what was happening with the story, and I think that's what made it really fun for me to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, I want to know like
You
how did we get to this point?"
gotta
Because
love a
there's
good story-rich or story-driven single-player game.
And I think you would really find the character voices like super cute, because not
Yes.
only does the NPCs that you meet talk, but your character talks, and then Fortune talks, which is really funny because Fortune can't really speak. Like he just makes noises. He's like Hubert. He just makes noises.
That's awesome.
But
I
like it's
also
nice that they
sorry, go ahead.
didn't just oh, I was gonna say it's nice that they didn't just like slide through and be like, oh, we're not gonna have your character talk or
Sure.
anything. Because that happens sometimes, like, oh, we'll just pay for NPCs, but not, the main person or anything like that.
And that's what they did in Game of Thrones, King's Road, the one I played. When you chose a audio line for your character then voiced it, and like it actually felt like you were having a really nice, fluid conversation. So I
That's
love
nice.
it when they actually do that extra mile to go ahead and voice it, because I had to choose a voice, which voice I liked. And I
Yeah.
hate when you have to choose a voice, but it's only for like the little tiny little one-off things that they do while fighting or whatever. Yeah, and I was like, why did you give me this option when I never get to hear it? So that I love it when you get to actually hear your character's voice. Right, exactly. I also like the art design. Like the art style looks really, really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's got, so like I told we were talking off stream
Mhm.
before we started and everything, and one thing I said to Morgan is every game has their color, and most of the times you'll see that a game color is yellow, right? Like
Sure.
that seems to be a lot of people's go-to. This one is purple. Like you can see like the whole game is very purpley, like done. Which is nice.
Which is nice. It
Yeah.
it kind of like in a way brands it. Helps add to
Mhm.
its branding, if you will.
Yeah.
I think you said the next game that we have for you was Green, right?
No. So
Oh,
this one is
that was a different game. Never mind.
yes.
I'm lying to myself. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I think you would say this one's more pastel, probably in the yellows again.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because of the whole solar part of it. All right, guys. So the next one we're
makes
actually
sense.
going to go away from randoms, away from dies, and we're going to head into the skies. Oh, look, I almost rhymed.
Wow, look at you. That wasn't
Look
even
at
scripted.
me. I know. All right, we're going to show you guys Solarpunk. This is a survival game, so with a lovely building aspect to it. Let's see what you guys think, and we'll see you on the other side. Let's get technical in this world of floating islands. This is your first look at Solarpunk, a survival game by Cyberwave. In this game, you will play either alone or with your friends as you construct buildings, grow food, craft gadgets, and explore distant islands with your airship. You can also automate processes like gathering resources and watering your plants by using sunlight, wind, and water to create an energy system. Let's look closer at the gameplay. Just like any survival game, it has your basic tools such as an axe, pickaxe, and build hammer. But the tools in this game have low durability, and I found myself replacing my tools a lot. You can learn to make tools that have better durability, but in this demo you don't have that option. When dealing with resources, I found myself waiting for resources to repopulate on the island. Once I got my axe, cutting down a tree gave me planks and not sticks, and bushes only leaves. There is also a research table in this game, but when moving from tier 1 to 2, you had to give up your build hammer, and you need to gather materials to make a new one. After a while, I was able to finally build my airship, but when flying it, the controls seemed wonky on the mouse and keyboard, at least until you get used to it. There is an option for a third-person view from the airship, but it wasn't available in the demo. Also, this game does not have a controller support. The art in this game feels a little lackluster. The graphics for the items you get look really good, but I was hoping the skybox would be more robust. When night fell, I was hoping for stars, but it was just a dark sky. It just felt like the developers didn't put a lot of effort into the overall look of the game. There are some great sounds in the game. From the strong wind to the heavy rainfall, the natural sounds of the dynamic weather system is done really well. There is some music in the game as well, but it doesn't overpower the game. I didn't run into any NPCs in the demo, so I can't say if there are any voice lines or not. Overall, the game has a lot of different building materials and decorative options, but you are limited to what you can build in the demo, such as your first items, farm, and build your base. The developers also have some tweaking to do, and I am also interested in seeing how the multiplayer part of the game works. Will this option be similar to games like Aloft, where you can pop in and out of people's worlds and keep your own island when you leave? Or are you stuck with your build on that person's world? Solarpunk is expected to release on PC in 2025, but there is no word if it will be available on consoles. Until we know more, this is your first look at Solarpunk.
All right, everybody, that is Solarpunk. As you just saw, Kibi trying to break into someone's house.
Well, okay, to be fair, once you get your airship, I was like, this looks like there's an airship out there. So I jumped onto mine and I'm like, I want to know what's over there. So I flew
Sure.
all the way over there and I was like, wow, what is this place? And it was boarded up, but it looked like from the side, I was like, it looks like you could go in and buy stuff. So I was very confused.
Maybe it's like
And
boarded up.
I
Just
just,
like not for the demo.
right, exactly. That's basically what they told us. Not for the demo. I was like, dang it. Yeah, like I was very confused why, like I thought it was cool, but then at the same time I was like, oh, but what do I do over here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So what do you guys think?
It looked. I'm gonna say it like for somebody who obviously who's now played Aloft. Like I'm loving weirdly that all of a sudden I feel like we're getting like this era of like flying, floating island things because I like that type of exploration. I love the sky. I love flying. And flying is something that you have to have either really good flying or like it's like I don't know. It has to be good in my opinion. Like there's not a one or the other. Like you need to have good flying.
Yeah.
But I know that I hope that they upgrade that skybox like you were talking about because if we're flying around at night, like I'm a sucker, just like I know you are, for a beautiful skybox, especially a nighttime skybox. But I hope that they add more and we get more. I'm assuming because Dan just said that they're slightly disappointed with the quantity of what was in the demo. Um, I'm assuming potentially because like you have a timeline, you have to get these things ready for Steam Next Fest. They could be just a smaller studio, and this is all that with their maybe a couple people that they have. This is maybe all they could just get out in time. So I don't know,
I kind of
KP,
beg
you
to
and I were
differ.
talking.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit on the like about this like while the thing was playing. Um, I I get though. I would like to have more quantity in this as well
Yeah.
because seeing what you've shown me, I don't know if I'll dive into this demo. I might wait so there's more available for me to explore.
Right. I'm kind of confused on this whole thing because they have blown up social media a lot with like, we've been working on it, we've been working on it, we've been working on it, right?
Sure,
And this
sure.
hasn't been just like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. This has been like over a year they've been doing stuff with this
Gotcha.
game, trying
So
to get it
I'm not
together. So
privy to their social media, so
Ye no, and that's okay. Because this is a game that I have anticipated for a while. Like, I was
gotcha.
like, "Sweet, they're finally gonna show us this thing.
I
We're
get
gonna
a
know
chance
about
to
it because."
try it.
Right, I get a chance to try, and I like Dan, I am slightly disappointed because I feel like we weren't given the full, and I'm gonna say it again, like I did as we were in our package, the full Monty for this whole thing. I feel like they gave us more of a downgraded version of the graphics, which I don't understand. Yeah, Dan has this thing wish
Wow.
listed since 2023 of last year in January. Like I've had it wish listed for a while. Like this isn't something that has been, just a drop in the bucket around the corner kind of game that they've been trying to work on. This has been something they've been trying to do for a
I
while,
mean, hell, that's
and I've been
26
following.
months there.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm very
Wow.
confused why we got really low looking graphics. When you look at the trailer looks like spectacular, right? And I
Sure.
agree with you, like the skybox needs some help. I was really upset with like the resources replenishment. Like that replenish rate was so small. Like I was like to the point where I almost was like, I'm done playing this game now because
Is it just like a
it just
lot of
took
like sit around and
forever.
wait?
Yeah, like I would run
Okay.
around and then I'd pick up everything and then I would be like, okay, I can't get anything else. And then the other thing that I read was like, they tell you in game that if you're hitting iron ore, that your pickaxe will actually deplete in duration and durability faster. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Like, because how am I supposed to get an iron set without, like,
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me because like it's stronger material than like a normal rock, but at the same time, it's like a lot of survival games don't have that. Like when you're hitting the stone, you're hitting the stone. You know what I mean? Like it's the
right,
same depletion rate for everything. So I'm surprised that
right.
they like adjusted it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it felt like you were going through your tools quickly, but I
Gotcha.
think also like certain aspects didn't make sense to me either. Like I hit a tree, I knock it down, I get a tree sapling, and then I get wood. They look like planks, so that's why I call them planks. But
Yeah.
because the animation literally, it looks like planks. It's just wood. Um,
Oh,
but
I
but
hate
that
it
was
when
it. I'm like,
games do that.
where I know. I'm like, but where's the sticks? Like when I get sticks from a tree, like a giant ass tree, like that didn't make sense to
I was
me. And
surprised because
then
you
I was
said in
like,
the demo you didn't get any sticks from the bushes either.
no. And that was the other thing. I walked up to the bushes and they were like, here's your leaves. And I'm like, like,
But I
but the
need
bush is
sticks.
gone. But the bush is gone. Yeah, so you could only pick up whatever sticks are on the ground. And yes, they show back up, rocks. I finally realized that you can hit any rock in there. And I was like, oh, well, now I get it. Now I get stone. And then once they got to the more automated stuff, I was able to get replenishing of materials for rocks, iron, and all that stuff faster. But
Gotcha.
until you get to that point, you're really kind of pigeonholed in this little area. And then also, I hate the fact that they did this. And I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish this wasn't an option. When I moved from tier 1 to tier 2, I had my hammer, right? And then I was like, okay, well, I need to upgrade. And instead of just being like, congratulations, you built the hammer, it was like, okay, thanks for the hammer. Okay, go make another one. Bye. And I was like, no, I need that. I need my hammer. I don't
Give me my
have
hammer
enough
back.
resources to make a new one.
That's wild. That's so
Yeah, so
frustrating.
it was very frustrating. So I'm very disappointed in what they did. I think there's a lot of tweaking that still needs to be done.
Gotcha.
I don't think this game is ready for any launch anytime soon yet. I think it's playable, but I do think there are still like a whole bunch of areas to go. I did crash my airship, which was amazing. I
Good.
crashed it into that area that we went to. I was almost going to put it in the piece, but I was like, I don't know how to write around this or talk around this. Just me crashing.
That's really
I'm
funny.
like, no, no. But I do hope that they add controller to it. They did say like on their website that they weren't sure if consoles were going to be part of the whole release stuff for it. I really hope so because I feel like the game would run smoother using controllers versus using your mouse and keyboard, especially when flying. I wish that we had
Gotcha.
third person for flying because that was kind of like a detriment to the game. I was like, well, like because I literally started moving and I was like, I don't like this. Like I can't like determine what's going on, kind of
Mm.
because you're like you're in.
Watching your review, it seemed really slow, like sluggish.
Oh
Did
well,
it
I
feel
slowed
that
it
way?
down.
Oh, okay.
No, I slowed it down because I went fast and then all of a sudden I went from like going straight to nosediving to up to over
Oh,
and I was like,
that's
nope.
the worst. I
Yeah.
hate
So I
it
was
when
like,
that
no,
happens.
we're gonna slow this down.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's why it looks very sluggish, but it was because I wanted to be
Gotcha.
able to actually fly the airship and not like
Gotcha,
"Wah, wah, wah,
gotcha.
wah." I do have footage if you want to see it, Morgan. You're like, no, I'm good.
I'm fine.
Yeah, so I think this game definitely still has some areas it needs work on.
Well, we have more games we want to talk about.
Yeah, we do. We're not done. We're not
Yeah.
done. We just had these 2 packages or 4 packages. It has a ways to go. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
So everybody,
Oh, and there's no multiplayer action either in it because that was not turned on yet.
oh,
That's what they
right,
said.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody, KP and I wanted to highlight a
Mhm.
couple other games that really stood out to us during the Steam Next Fest. So here's a look at my first one that I'm super excited for.
Are you?
All right. Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're excited.
literally
I don't hear it.
I watched this and immediately sent this to Rob. And Rob
Nice.
immediately like they're what Rob told me was like and immediately added to wish list. So this
Nice.
is Ediagard. It is a co-op RPG drawing from Scandinavian and Sami folklore. You play as an adventuring shapeshifter who cleanses and reclaims farmlands infected by a relentless plague, all while navigating the intricate politics of rival clans. Each decision impacts your path and the world around you. Watch out for my personal Twitch, everybody, and my YouTube channels, because Grimnir Allfather, who is Rob, and I are definitely planning to stream this demo together soon. So
Nice.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this. I love that it dives into folklore. Like you shapeshift into different into like different creatures, kind of like a druid would inside of a D&D, if you will. But yeah,
Mhm.
it is coming out later this year to early access. So I'm really excited for this one. It's
Nice.
definitely, definitely hits the Up Morgan's alley ticks. You know what I mean? Definitely,
Exactly.
definitely it is like medievally and fantasy-y, and that's just me.
I think that's her,
And
guys. I think that's her.
yeah, this is what I like, But keeping along with that, though, to no surprise, here's another fantasy style video game. Sorry, not sorry at all. But
Sorry, not sorry.
the next game I wanted to show you all is called Fellowship. This is one I know that Rob is also funny enough really excited for. He showed me this one, and I was like, dude, I want this. So
I have this one on my
Do you?
downloaded for for the demo. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's all dive in together because Fellowship is a multiplayer online dungeon adventure set in an exciting fantasy setting with endless scaling dungeon runs. Players must focus on working together as a team with an emphasis on skill, cooperation, and strategy to defeat bosses, collect loot, and work together to overcome ever present challenges. So I'm really excited for this one. I'm happy you have it as well. Hey, Shirtless Dan, if you don't have it already, go get it, and then all 4 of us can play
think
dungeon
he
runs
does.
together.
I feel like
Perfect.
he does.
If he does, then
I
it's
feel like that was
perfect.
on the list last night. It is. He already has it. He already has it.
Perfection. It sounds like you, Dan, Rob, and I all need to get down and play it.
Get down with the sick. I mean, not down with. He said re-downloading
Get
it.
down with the Fellowship. Sorry, I'm absurd. Anyway, talking about some crazy, absurd, and really cute looking games. KP, I know you got some stuff
This is
for
not
us.
absurd.
It is
Come on,
absurd.
this
It is absurd in the best way possible. I don't mean that as a bad thing. But
All
what do you
right,
have for us,
so
KP?
yeah, so as you guys know, many of you who follow me on my personal, you guys have seen my squirrel I'm sure you have. Latin has put it in there. I have my squirrel merch for those who have not seen it. So first up we have is Squirreled Away. That's right, Squirreled Away. In this game, you are a squirrel and you will scurry through gardens, up trees, and leap limb to limb in this craft and thrive park life adventure. I love the fact that it's all park life. Like this is so adorable.
I love that
You
I
will
can build a
meet
little
and help.
house. Sorry.
Yes, you can build a tree house. I love it. You will meet and help other residents and collect bits here and there to build and decorate your dream tree house. This game can be played solo or online with, I think it's up to 3 friends or 2 friends, like you and 2 other friends. And it also has controller support. This is a game that I really want to try. I made Dan see it and look at it, and he was like, okay, that is cute. He goes, I see now. But I think you could choose the color of your squirrel. So you don't have to be a
That's so
traditional squirrel. I think you can be
cute.
like a black squirrel or a gray squirrel.
Stop, that's
Like I
adorable. Oh
I
my
really
god.
I still have to try it. I'm really excited for it. I think I might do that later
I
today
didn't
just to check it
realize
out.
though it was
What?
multiplayer, and that makes me
Yeah.
super excited. Can we
Yeah,
just
so
make a
it's
crazy treehouse like
yeah.
kingdom?
Yeah.
All I care about is making tree houses. That's all I'm saying.
Dan has literally just started playing Squirreled Away.
Damn it! Wait for us.
Damn it, Dan. Okay. So this next one I'm actually really excited about too. It's called out. I mean, you pop up on my screen, man. What do you want me to do? I don't know what you want. Okay, so this next one I actually really like too. It's one that really stood out to me that is unique in a way. So it is called Chromagun 2 Die Hard. In this game, you will shoot paint, you'll mix colors, you will solve puzzles in this adventure about friendship and redemption.
Hmm.
Don't just enter that portal to another university and everything will be perfectly fine. This is a single player game, but I'm okay with that. And it is controller supported, but I like the concept that it's almost like Portal meets a new realm of Portal. Um, and I like that it's got puzzles, but I like color. Like I like the fact that it's based on color.
That is
Um,
really cool.
there's a lot of games that we play that are puzzles. Like Dan and I play a lot of puzzle games where it's like you have to think either it's mathematically or maybe it's like solve the puzzle and what's the next piece in this like, let's say poem, right?
Hmm.
I like those, but this brings a new aspect to puzzles that I think we don't get a lot of, and I'm really excited to try this. I still have to try it, and I want to do a review on it because it really does stand out to me in a lot of ways, and so does Squirreled Away. But yeah, these are two that I love the chicken. Sorry, I just saw the chicken. But yeah, so those are the two that I saw. I think they're really great games that maybe people have maybe missed. Um, and maybe you guys want to try them too. So definitely do so before Next Fest ends tomorrow. And maybe the game, and we do want to preference that some of the demos do actually stick
A
around
lot of
after
the
the
demos,
festival is over.
actually.
Yeah.
A lot of them
So
stay.
I know that like we're saying like, oh, it ends tomorrow, but you can always double check to see if that demo is still available to play. Like put it on your list. Maybe you don't download it right away, but put it on your list, add it to your account because
Yeah,
that gives
add
you
to
the ability to
library.
hold onto it and then you can actually download it. There are times where they will say, "Oh, it's gone," and there's nothing you can do, but a lot of times they do stick around even
Yeah,
after.
I will say I've had from like 2 Steam Next Fest ago, I think I have like 7 demos that I'm eventually planning to get around and like doing reviews of, and only 1 out of the 7 has said this demo is no longer available. And this was
Yeah,
2 Steam Next Fest ago. So
right.
they stick around for quite a while. And some of them even stay around after the game launches. Some of them do slowly remove when the game launches. Others still stick around so people can test it out before you buy. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the only reason they would actually truly remove them right away is if the gameplay is considerably different from what they had in the demo. And I've seen that happen before. And
Hmm.
they've made note of that. Like, we're going to remove this because we've actually tweaked the game a lot so that it's not the same game that you're playing when you play the demo.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
okay, that makes sense. I get it.
Yeah. So as you guys have heard previously, though, many times from KP and I. We both love Steam Next Fest. It's a great way to showcase a bunch of games. We especially are able to find a lot of really great indie games, especially if you're really willing to go through and click through that browse all list. I will admit to you, it's long. I have the willpower, but do you? But it's okay. I clicked through it so you don't have to. With that being said, the reviews today of the games that we showed you, our demos that we got to show you, is sorry, what did Dan just say? Heads up,
He
scroll
just
away
said
is
that
tanking your
heads up scrolled
browser.
away is tanking his browser. So if I'm in the game, stream stops.
Oh wow,
Interesting.
that's a very heavy.
I'll have to
heavy
look
game
and see
then.
what the settings are. Maybe you gotta change and tweak the settings of it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't even launched that game yet. So
gotcha. Well, with all this being said, though, you know we love Steam Next Fest, and the demos, the videos that we've already showed you today. KP's are up and live now on our YouTube. Mine are going up as soon as the show is over, and I want to show you our YouTube channel real quick, just because we will be adding more to our Steam Next Fest playlist. So if you want to ever see any games that are in the Steam Next Fest, you can go down. We have this right here, this playlist on our homepage. You can also go to the playlist section here, and you can see all the playlists we have made. But yeah, we have the Steam Next Fest playlist that has demos from previous Next Fest available for watching. But if you want to check out those ones that we did today, or share them with friends that you maybe want to play them with, you can check them out. And yeah, so make sure to check back for more reviews. But for now, everybody, we are going to take a very short little break. And when we come back, we're going to look at all the games coming out next week. There's some really good ones. One KP and I are ecstatic and cannot wait for. So stay tuned, and we will be back very shortly. All right, welcome back, everybody. But first things first, before we dive into the upcoming games of the week, we want to say thank you so much, Final Outcast, for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome to the Techeries, where we talk about tech and video games and everything else. And right now we're diving into our last segment of the day, where we discuss the upcoming video games releasing next week. And there's a couple in here that we're super excited for, just saying. But
You guys missed, all you Raiders missed a great discussion last break. But we will have everything on our VOD and everything. So yes, also check out Final Outcast. He is somebody that I've known for quite a while. Great guy, fun streamer. And really great when I love his drawings. Like all his little emotes are his stuff that he's drawn. And he's been really getting into this whole like Kingdom of Come Deliverance 2, the second part of this whole thing that's from the first one. So
nice.
If you haven't had a chance, check him out, guys. All
Yeah.
right. So shall we dive into like probably one of our fun segments that we really like doing every week? I'd like to sing.
Yeah,
I like to sing, so
It's always as every week is, it's a new week, and that means new games are coming out. So let's go ahead and jump into looking at the games that are out. KPA, what is the first one you got for us?
yeah, so releasing on Tuesday, March 4th is Grimoire Groves. I actually think this game is super cute.
It looks really cute.
Yeah, and Morgan, is kind of like in your wheelhouse, right? Because you join the witches in their quest to restore the Grimoire Groves. Master magic, you grow cute plant creatures, and you discover the mystery of the rainbow socks in this cozy, it is a roguelite, so I just want to give you a heads up, dungeon crawler. Now, if you want to try it out before it releases, there is a demo. It is part of Next Fest. Steam Next Fest, so it is still there, and the game will be available only on PC. I still have to try it out. It's on my I have it on my little demo collection and everything. I don't know why, but lately I've been really big into roguelites. I don't even understand. Like I'm like, oh my god, another one, let's go.
Now, one other thing I do want to say is, from doing some research and some prep of something we're going to discuss later, I have found out that this the studio in this game is made completely by women. It is a woman-led game and a game made by women. So if you want to help support some ladies out there, there's also that option.
Support us, ladies.
All right. Well, next up, we have a game from the 2 Point series. So this is 2 Point Museum. It releases on Tuesday, March 4th. In this game, you will curate and manage incredible museums, explore to discover amazing artifacts, design and refine the layout, keep staff happy, guests entertained, donations plentiful, and children off the exhibits. Now, this game is available on This game will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So yeah, this looks cute. I love museums. And like that was another potential career choice I almost went into, was like being a historian and working in museums. Funny enough, it's something not a lot of people know. But yeah, this is adorable. I think this.
Have you played any of the 2 Point games or no?
No, I haven't. I haven't actually.
They're a lot of fun. They, like Tubby says, I love 2 Point. My daughter already warned me I can't get museum until we finish hospital, but Tubby, you're gonna have to finish Campus first. So I'm playing Campus, 2 Point Campus, and what I like about it is it's super friendly, like it's user friendly. So if you just want something that's very chill, like
that's awesome,
and you want to be able to like create stuff, like you can, like it's got like you could grab a room, copy it, and paste it. You could grab like you could do like layout stuff really fast, which is really cool.
Nice.
And then even adding to the game, like if you want to add to the room, that's super easy to do. Like it's very user friendly for like his daughter. Like she loves it, and she's
cute.
What, 7 now or 6? I forget. She's somewhere around there. I'm like, she's old. She's old.
Oh, no.
He's like, no, she's not. Shut up. But yeah, the 2 Point series are super cute. I really want the museum one just because I really enjoy how they like from a gamer standpoint how fun they are and just like laid back, but also it's really funny to see like the little characters running around
It
too.
is really cute.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to want to gear up for this tactical mech action in War Robots Frontiers. This is a free-to-play multiplayer mech shooter. You'll construct and customize, squad up with pilots online, and fire up your engines in massive intergalactic battles. This game will be available free on Tuesday, March 4th on PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, and S. It does look really cool. I'm kind of tempted to see what this game is like. Especially considering it's free. It might be something fun. I did like a lot of like mech games. So I played a lot of like Mech Warrior growing up.
Mhm.
It was definitely something that I got into as a child. It looks interesting. It does. And I think the fact of like you're able to construct and customize your own mech is really cool and it kind of gives you that Mech Warrior feel to it. We're going back to
It's
that kind of
interesting
thing
because
because
there's
that
been
was the one thing.
actually there's a lot of mech games out there right now.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that came out just through the Steam Next Fest. One of the ones I even
Mhm.
highlighted on my social, like for my picks of Steam Next Fest, was one called Mecha Break. So it's very interesting to see how many mech games we're getting right now.
Mhm. Which, funny enough, looking at Mecha Break, I know you highlighted it, but
Hmm.
one thing that Dan and I found out because we were talking about different games, we actually had that on our list to check out last night when we were streaming. He said that the reviews for it all tanked it. It's all tanked. It's really negative.
Well,
So
it's
I don't
interesting.
know what's
So
going on.
I know Ramp has tried it and he wasn't a fan, but my husband tried it and he really likes it.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on. It's like this weird dynamic that's happening with this game. So, we kind of were like, okay, then we won't see it. We won't try it out. But if you want to try it, go for it and tell me what
See
you
what
think about it.
happens.
Me might like you, might not. I don't know. I don't know. You seem like you have similar style of liking things as Ramp. So,
Well, so yeah, it was interesting. Ramp didn't like it, but my husband Dan loved it. Um,
uh,
so
but Ramp just said that the PvP feels too sluggish and the PvE is great. Mecha Break looks good. I just wish it wasn't PvP. That's fair. I
that's
don't like
also fair.
PvP. Yeah, I'm not a
That's fair.
huge PvP person.
Well, everybody, from mechs to mages, the next one I have for you is Wizardom. It's
Wisdordom.
Wizardom.
There you
Anyway,
go.
that's
You got it.
probably even with my weird voice, the way to say it. So it is
Wisdordom.
it is a retro FPS that puts you in the role of a mage on a quest to track down the source of chaos. With a wide arsenal of spells and magic items, you battle your way through the world of Terra
Yeah,
Burma. What?
Terrabruma.
Okay, Terra
That's right.
Bruma. I got it. Guys. In this unique blend of classic 90s shooters and modern gaming elements. KP's laughing at me. There is a demo available, and this game releases on Wednesday, March 5th on PC.
That's right. That wizard has a bonk stick. Nice.
He does have a
It
bonk
does.
stick. He goes bonk.
This game does look interesting. I like the fact that it's mages and it's
Yeah.
all uh like you have to learn all your elemental stuff with it and everything, which is like, yes, I know that's what wizards are, guys. But I like the fact that that's what the main concept is behind it. It's like you're all mages and you're all like in this magical world and stuff. So I would be curious to see the demo before buying it, but yeah, it's definitely something that seems interesting,
For sure.
especially with my bonk stick.
Well, we got another one coming out on Wednesday. What is it?
Yes. So on Wednesday, March 5th, we head to the adventure filled world of Eldrador. In Eldrador, creatures Shadowfall. You lead battle ready creatures in this turn based strategic combat to defeat a mysterious shadowy menace. Now, it will be available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Yeah, that's all I got.
It looks cute. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the art design and everything looks really cute for this one, but I'm not super super familiar with this one just yet.
Yeah, I think this next one kind of fits your realm a little bit because it is kind of similar to uh your Call of Duty stuff, by the way.
Well, if you're looking for a free game to snag, why not Fragpunk on Thursday, March 6th? This is a new fast paced 5 versus 5 based first person shooter featuring power up cards that blend the rules of combat. It releases on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This one's different. I actually don't know if I'd be a fan. I know you think it might be up my alley, and it might be up my alley. I just, from what I immediately saw, I'm not 100%.
Oh, Final said it was
not 100%
fun.
sure.
He did the playtest for it.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
I know that they have like they were releasing on social media a whole like battle pass thing, but I don't think it
Sure.
was buy. I think it was just part of the game kind of thing. At least how it looked for me, but yeah. It's more of a CS style game.
Gotcha. I struggled with CS, so we'll see.
What? You struggled with CS? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Maybe if you get enough people on your team that, fit the bill and stuff like that. And
maybe,
it's free.
maybe it'll be
It's
doable. We'll see.
free.
All right, getting to the next one. We really are excited for.
Yes, this next one is a game that Morgan and I have been interested in. It is called Split Fiction. It releases Thursday, March 6th. In this game, you will embrace mind-blowing moments as you're pulled deep into the many worlds of Split Fiction. It's a boundary-pushing co-op adventure. This game will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation. This game already has been available for pre-purchase, but it officially releases on Thursday. So
I'll be
definitely
buying it
something
on
that
PC.
Morgan-
We'll be getting it on PC, and we'll be playing it.
Yes.
I know that you want to play it with me. Rob wants to play it with me. My friend Kim wants
Rob
to
can
play
go
it with
fuck off.
me.
Kim can go fuck off. Me
Like,
first.
I think I wouldn't be
Me
surprised if
first.
I have like another person or two who wants to play it with me. I'm really excited because one thing that we have stated, KP, about this is like it blends both sci-fi and fantasy, which for me, those are both of my favorite genres. Those are my favorite genres in movies, in books, in video games. So it's really exciting to, and I know you love those genres as well. So it's really exciting to see like us dive into a game where it speaks to both sides of what we really like. Because I love fantasy stuff and like the medieval, like hardcore fantasy to the sci-fi fantasy. So I literally cannot wait for this game.
I just really want to see how you do with puzzles. I'm not gonna lie.
You'll be impressed. I'm actually pretty good with puzzles.
Are you? I don't know. I have tried to get you to play some games with me, and I'm like, she's never gonna do it.
Well, let's just take a look again. Maybe I will. But no, I really like
Maybe
puzzles
you will.
actually. Like I've been playing It Takes Two for like it was on part of the PlayStation free games, and
Mhm.
yeah, I really enjoyed playing It Takes Two, and I got those puzzles really easy. So
I need to still yell at Tubby.
Tubby, finish that one with her too.
No, he won't even play it with me.
Tubby, how dare you?
See, he goes, don't mention the game. Dang it. It's because I keep begging him. I'm like, please, please, please. You don't even need to own it. You could just remote play in. Like, it's so great. Like, that's what's.
See?
Oh, and that's one thing about this game. If one person owns it, the other person just can remote in, play in. So you don't both need to own it unless you just really want to support the developer. So
Yeah.
just wanted
You
to
also,
let you guys know
if you
that.
have like 3 people who want to play it with you, be like, hey, help me pay for it. We'll split it all 4 ways, and we can all play.
But 3 ways because you said 3 people.
3 people want to play it with me, which means myself and 3 other people pay for it.
Well, then you mean 4 people.
Yeah, 3 people
Together.
want to. I
Okay.
said 3 people want to play it with me, so we split it 4 ways.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Anyway, we both can't wait for this one. But next, if you are big into JRPGs, then this one is for you. Bear with me while I murder this name, but
Go for it.
Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered, Gate Rune, and Dunin Unifaction Wars releases on Thursday, March 6th. you can get this game on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So it's really
Dan
exciting to
says solid
see.
pronunciation there. I mean, I gotta
Hells
give it to
yeah.
you. That was solid.
Let's go. It's because I watch so much anime. Anyway, um, so one thing with this, everybody, that I really like to see is that we're starting to get a lot more games that are coming to Nintendo Switch that we're also getting on other platforms. This one is actually a twofer. It's not just one game, but it's two. You get 1 and 2 as the HD remasters. So yeah, if you're into JRPGs or if you're just a fan of this franchise and want to get it remastered, this will be available for you on March 6th.
There you go.
All right, what's next for us, KP?
All right, on Friday, March 7th, we have a couple of games for you. So let's start with one we showed you before, which is Sugar Dew Island. Now, this is a quick release turnaround, but in this cozy game, you will farm, take care of animals, sell your goods, and upgrade the island. This game will be available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. I still really want to play the demo to this game because I have seen this thing blown up all across social media.
I
So
have too.
it
Ever
is
since
still part of the Next
it
Fest.
was what we highlighted it, I think last week on our show, and
Yeah, it's like a
then
pre
yeah,
release. Yeah.
yeah, as when we did our preview of Steam Next Fest, because
hmm
developers started announcing who was going to be on it on part of Steam Next
hmm
Fest. But anyway, ever since we've talked about it, I've then been seeing it all over the place on social media. So
Yeah, I really
has
want to
some
try
hype,
it,
y'all. Has some hype.
but we're
It
not
does.
done.
It
We have
looks
one
really
more.
cute. We do have one more. So, lastly, celebrate the Bloodline in Showcase. Complete online. Expanded gameplay includes intergender wrestling, chain wrestling, barricade diving, the return of promos. KP's doing fists and everything, sorry. And much more in WWE 2K25. Anyway, this game releases on Friday, March 7th on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. I don't know
It
why
was
I just
worth it.
I don't know why I literally couldn't keep it together because while I'm like, intergender wrestling, she's like, ugh. And then she's like, ee. Even though that's more like boxing and not wrestling, ma'am.
They still smack. Not
That's
gonna
fair. No,
lie.
that's fair. That's fair. Anyway,
They
that's
still
why I couldn't
smacking.
keep it. I couldn't keep it together because she's back there making little like emotes to it.
It was worth it. We do need to release blooper reels.
Oh man, the bloopers. I mean, that's something that we're working on. We are working on getting like really funny moments of our shows, like clips made and everything, and putting them
Oh
out
my
on social.
god!
Oh my god!
Sam!
Anyway.
Oh man, we're so dumb. But in a good way. Well, and that's why we also encourage you guys too. If there's anything we do that you guys are like, that was so stupid but silly, do clip. We're not gonna be like, you can't
Please.
clip in this. Yes,
Please.
we're totally fine with you guys clipping while we're doing this.
KP,
It's
you
not
just
it's not like we're anti.
the next thing we need to do is
But
make KP record just our Discord cameras while the show's going live. That way when we have graphics up, you can see our insanity. Anyway, everybody. Oh my goodness. So
oh man.
one thing we want to say is for our next show, we will look into the next Fest happening over on Steam. So the next Steam Next Fest is actually the Visual Novel Fest, which y'all know I love me a good visual novel. And
No, she
they're
doesn't. She hates them. She thinks they're the worst. She's like,
give me
man, this
all the
visual novel is so boring.
give me all of the fantasy romance ones and my life is fulfilled.
Morgan needs a room.
I'm in one.
Yeah, we need to keep Dan out of the room.
No, so anyway, not to out myself like that, but so with that being said, we're going to be looking into the visual novel Steam Next Fest as well as the women-led studio sale. So we want to let you know, with March being Women's History Month, I'm trying to take my capture B-roll thing. Come on, go. There we go. So with
He's like,
next
hold on. Just so you guys know that it's Women's History Month.
I know
Hold on.
my brain was like, get to it. Anyway, with March being Women's History Month, we already have some great games on our YouTube that you can check out. KP and I will be adding more reviews all month long to celebrate. So we do have this playlist, which is Games by Women. You'll see actually quite a few we've done in the past. We found out Happy Surprises were actually developed by women. So we will be adding to this playlist all month long to help highlight games that are made by women. So
Yeah, we're really excited. Like it's nice seeing a list of women-led studios,
Yes.
and there's a lot of games that you don't probably realize are women-led until you're like, oh, yeah, look at that. That's cool. So
Yeah.
we're really excited. We're gonna be Morgan has made literally a laundry list. It's not a joke. It's a laundry list.
It's
that
not
comes
even
with
that
all
bad, guys. It doesn't
no,
include
it
the 49 games that are in my wish list right now for me to continue to go through.
it's pretty bad. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
It's
But
about to
there
get
are
worse.
good. I can't wait. But yeah, we do have a lot of content that we will be showing you guys throughout the month, and in our shows every week. We have already chosen a game each for the women-led studios sale, so we were excited to show you guys those next week. Final just said, did you all see that Halo Infinite released a Rosie the Riveter color scheme this month? That's cool.
I didn't.
But you're talking to Morgan, who's a huge Halo fan.
Yeah.
She's a Halo head.
Here, I'm pulling up a photo right now. I'm trying to find it so I can show everybody since it's been mentioned. Why is it the only thing I can find is through freaking Reddit? Okay, here we go. Let me show you guys it. So this is what Final's talking about. Awesome. It's so cute.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's awesome. Sick. Wow.
She was a big part of history.
She sure was.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, with all that being said, as always, we will have the topics we discussed in our show topic section in our Discord. So if you're not in our Discord, come get in here.
What are you
Come
doing?
join us. We talk.
What are you doing?
We have people like ourselves and like Latin who post all types of articles that we find for like tech news and video game news. So it's really a fun place to discuss all things tech and video games. But before we go, don't forget to check us out across all of our social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. So yeah, follow us, know when we go live, and also check out our stuff that we post. Thanks.
All right, and if you want to show us some love, and if you like our content, every like that we get from you guys, whether it's on an actual package we've done that's posted, or it is our live show that we're doing, our live stream, it just helps with reach. So please help us out by giving us likes on our content and our streams on YouTube. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you know when we go
Ding dong that
live.
bell.
That's right. And then on Twitch, hit the little heart. It's free. We like free. Free's great. And that means that you don't have to pay us unless you want to. You can always subscribe.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
We don't say no.
That's right. We won't say no. All right, guys. Until next weekend, we will see you guys and keep processing.